So here's the difference between learning from failure and drowning in it. There's a question I'm sure you've heard in your own head before, and it's a hard one. If something went wrong in my life, how can I accept it as a personal failure so I can learn from it? The short answer is there is a way, but only if you do it the right way, because there's a difference between responsibility and self-condemnation, and confusing the two will keep you stuck. Here's what I mean. There's a version of personal failure that leads to growth, and there's a version that leads to depression, addiction, and paralysis in life. They look real similar on the surface, but completely different underneath. So let's understand the version that destroys you first. This is the one that sounds like, I failed as a person. Not something I did, but who I am. That's not considered accountability. That's what's called identity collapse. And when failure becomes your identity, your brain doesn't look for solutions. It looks for escape. And that's where numbing comes in. And that's where avoidance comes in. And that's where relapse lives. Because shame doesn't motivate us to change. It drains it. So now let's understand the version that builds you, right? Healthy responsibility sounds different. It sounds like I made the choices that contributed to this. Or there are things I didn't handle well. Or I can learn from this without hating myself. Did you notice the shift? This separates behavior from identity. And that separation means everything. Because you can change behavior. You can't grow while attacking your existence. Here's the framework that actually works. If you're navigating loss, regret, or consequences, try this. In this order. Number 1, name the role you played honestly. No minimizing, no rewriting history, just the truth. Number 2, extract the lesson. What does this teach me about what doesn't work? And number 3, release the sentence. You're not bound by it. You don't need to keep punishing yourself to prove that you care. Growth doesn't require a life sentence of what you did. Here's the line that I want you to remember. You're allowed to say, I failed in some ways, without believing I'm a failure. One leads to wisdom. The other leads to staying stuck. A lot of people miss this. If you keep reliving the failure without changing your behavior, that's not accountability. That's rumination over and over. Accountability always points forward. So if you're listening to this and you're carrying something heavy, pause for a second and ask yourself, what did I learn? What am I doing differently now? Who am I becoming because of this? If you can answer those, you're not failing. You're transforming. And if no one's told you this lately, I love the good in you.